There are two words I want you to think about today: author and writer. An author creates with the intent to inform or teach or entertain. The writer documents or transcribes the creation so it can arrive at its destination, the audience. Most authors are, of course, writers as well. So let's bring this into the SME world. Have you ever thought of writing a book to showcase your area of expertise? Well, let's be honest. Adding author to any title or resume sounds good and looks good, right? Well, it's a great way to generate leads, establish credibility and authority in your field or niche in your business. So, what's stopping you? Or what's not starting you? Don't worry, not knowing where to begin is a very common problem. So is how to publish and how to promote it when you've done it. Well, if you write with Jane, she can help you with all of that, and she says, avoid all the dumb mistakes that she made. Our expert guest today is Jane Turner, author and book writing coach. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you, Angela.
Now, is it true, Jane? Is it true, just between me, you and them, is it true it took you 5 years to write your first book?
It did. 5 very long years.
5 years, Jane? What did you do every second weekend?
Well, it was hardly Anna Karenina also. It was a 30,000 word how-to book that really could have taken me 5 months, but 5 years is true.
So when you say 30,000 words, that's not a lot. That's not a lot for a business type book.
That's pretty good for a business type book. You want 30, 45,000 words. Some people get really carried away and they shoot themselves in the foot because someone reading a business book does not want 90,000.
But if you have a lot to say?
You need to be edited.
Right, so less is more.
Indeed.
Less is more. Okay. Is it also true, again, just between us, that you spent about $30,000 writing your first book?
I did, and they call this one shiny object syndrome. It was an avoidance strategy about feeling like I just need this one more thing. This thing will do it for me. But of course I was running away from the reality of just getting the book written and being ready to step up and be seen as an authority.
Well, one of the things you do is provide accountability, right? Or at least showing someone or explaining to them or coaching them and teaching them to set up an accountability framework.
Accountability is huge.
Even for themselves.
Yes.
Otherwise, if they're doing it with you, you get on the phone and go, how's it going?
That's it.
Right? So
I'm the smiling assassin. People tell me that's the loveliest way they've ever been kept accountable, but I do not take prisoners.
So you can imagine the guilt on the other end of the phone. Hi, it's Jane here. Have you done it yet?
Actually, people say a lovely thing to me and I say, now, how did you actually get the book done? What was the biggest deal? How did I help you most? And I've heard more than once that they didn't want to disappoint me.
It's the teacher-parent thing, isn't it?
It's the bond. It's that I do care as much as they care.
Or they're scared. Say the truth, or they're scared.
I take whatever it takes to get the book finished.
All right, now to get you to the point where you are right with Jane today was a very usual situation for many lives at the moment, but an unusual one for you. You got made redundant.
I did.
In 2014, and that was kind of the catalyst for everything else, right?
True.
Well, share with us a little bit of your public service background, where you worked, why that environment gave you the abilities that you've brought forward to your new career.
Yeah. Well, look, it's interesting in as much as I was born in Canberra. Everyone in my family was a public servant. I got a job in the public service. I moved to Sydney. I got another job in the public service, and on it went. Now, my last 15 years was a fabulous position to be in. I worked at the Powerhouse Museum.
An amazing, amazing place.
Absolutely. And, I was blessed to be able to do some professional development there, which was coaching training. Now, that has helped me a lot.
Right.
What hasn't helped me was to be essentially institutionalised. And when I first started writing my book, I was writing it like a bureaucrat. I used to write an excellent memo. However, that was not going to land too well with people that I was writing the book for. And this is one of the big...
So your audience.
My audience.
You were writing for you, or what you thought.
What I thought.
But you hadn't taken into account that you're actually writing for someone else.
Absolutely. And that's the big deal, that you want that book to have an impact. All of the people I work with have a really important message to share with their audience, and it's an incredible shame if that is never done, because they stuff around for 5 years like I did. It's unnecessary, and if you need help, just ask for help, really.
Or write with Jane. Mm-hmm. So how important is the style of a, we're calling it a business book?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So there's a special style, right? A special type of format. It's not a fictional story here.
No, not that you can't use a little bit of, it's storytelling is important, put it that way. However, again, it comes back to what does the reader need to hear? What do you want to achieve by writing the book and sharing the information? So it has to be strategically worded and organised and packaged.
That way. Mm. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead in a different way. One of the services that you offer is the introductory workshop.
Yes.
And the introduction to the 5 pillars.
That's it.
Now, it was really interesting when I spoke to you about this, because you essentially go through helping people break down the process or what they might include in their book.
Yes.
And it's like a half-a-day workshop, right?
That's right, yes.
But that's free. Mm-hmm. So you allow someone or a group of people, whichever way it's done, and to come together, and you sit down and go, okay, so you think you've got a book idea, right? Mm-hmm. And then you break it down with them, ask, what are you trying to tell your audience, all those sort of things.
Yep.
By the time they leave that workshop that day, what have they got?
They've got a good sense of the possibility, because I do share my story, and they come away at the very least with a sense of, if she can do it, why couldn't I, under the circumstances? I had my back against the wall, state of sheer desperation, and I really learnt a lot through that in terms of how to short-circuit the opportunities to avoid writing the book. And this is what I've put into my most recent book, Mindset for Authors, How to Overcome Perfectionism, Procrastination and Self Doubt. So they're the killers.
I would be guilty of procrastination. Mm-hmm. It's on my to-do list and my bucket list is to write a book. Not really sure what about yet, but then I haven't done the half-day workshop. So procrastination is a big killer, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I need to, I will, get set up on the day, sit there in front of the laptop, get your drink, get everything that you need.
Yeah.
Suddenly find something else to do, right?
Easy. Too easy. In fact, Simon Senke was interviewed about the fact that he, of course, is doing a whole lot of important work. Yeah. He continues to write books, and the person interviewed him asking this question, how do you have time to write a book? And he said, it's not about time. We all have 24 hours in a day.
That's right, same 24 hours.
How I get it done is because I have a babysitter. Now, he hires somebody to sit with him.
Oh, accountability.
This is it. And the fact that somebody else can remind you why it's important.
Because there's no playing hooky. Mm-hmm. There's no, I'll just ring mum.
There's no, I have to go clean the toilet or whatever.
Well, you find things to do, right?
Absolutely.
I hate cleaning cupboards, and I've suddenly found reasons to sort out the pantry.
Yep. And there's also no need to buy something that is essentially a distraction. And that was my $30,000 worth of expenditure.
That was your lesson, one of your lessons.
My lesson.
Okay. So let's break this down a little bit. I was curious, how important is the back cover?
The back cover is...
Random left field question, but...
No, it's a great question, because when we go to a bookshop, think about it.
I know, you turn it over, right?
You turn it over. You're looking at the cover or you're looking at the spine, depending on where the book is positioned. Yep. But you look at the back cover. The next thing you might do is look at the contents page and possibly a little bit of the introduction. Yep. So you do not want to be slap happy with what you put on the back cover. Okay, so
I hadn't actually thought... You've got the back cover, that's important. And then also the very beginning, it's true. I'm replaying this in my mind. If I pick up a book in a bookshop, I go, and then I'll open it thinking that suddenly it's going to sell it to me, isn't it?
That's it. It has to speak to you.
It's interesting real estate. Okay, I hadn't done that, right?
Yeah.
Now, you've written a book about writing a book, right? Mindset for Authors, and how to avoid procrastination.
Perfectionism and self-doubt.
Oh, perfectionism. It doesn't have to be perfect?
No. In fact, does anything Have you ever experienced anything in life that is?
No.
No, you see, perfectionism is a fiction.
Right. Ah, okay.
It's just, it can all boil down into whatever word it is that stops you from doing what you need to do. Things like writer's block, that's procrastination. Things like, needing to be perfect, or it's not long enough, or it's not good enough, or all of these things. It's all bundled in together.
How much of a weapon of mass destruction is self-doubt?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Apparently, at any given time, 80% of the population will say that they want to write a book.
Right.
Now, way, way, way less than 1% of the population ever does. Therefore, how many essentially unfulfilled and disappointed people are there out there? But, of course, we have our ways of not noticing how disappointed we may be. And, it's just a real shame. It's not everybody's journey to write a book, but for the people who really
want
it
to,
is. Yes.
Who want to, there's a process.
There's a lot at stake in terms of satisfaction, in terms of helping the people who, essentially you've been called to help in terms of the books that are being written with people that I attract. And, it's just a matter of just pull your finger out and do it. And as I said earlier, get help if you need to. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
I have a business that isn't even a business anymore. I tell people I'll never work another day in my life. But I have this place where I can be of use and of service for the very reason that it's a waste of time to just start from zero and work everything out yourself.
And that's what the introductory
free
workshop is.
Yes.
It gives them an opportunity to dip their toe in the water.
Exactly.
And it's not even about ending up working with you.
No.
It's just about them working out how they're going to do it.
I am as proud of the 3 people over the last 6 years of all of the workshops that I've run, of the 3 people who've come back to me after coming to the half-day workshop, maybe saying hi, maybe we didn't interact at all, and I'll get a copy of a book in the mail saying, Jane, this book only exists because of you. And I ring them up and I say, but what do you mean? I didn't even help you publish it or promote it or anything. I said it was what you said at that workshop, because I do actually share tactics around how to get the information out of your head and onto the page in a way that will resonate with your target audience. In the workshop.
So you don't know this, but I went and found one of your authors.
Oh,
so one of the people that Jane has actually had the experience of producing the book with, and I asked them, what was it like working with Jane or writing with Jane? This is what she had to say. I chose to work with Jane from Write with Jane because, unlike other coaches, she experiences the book writing with you. The highs, the lows, the writing blocks, the dummy spits, she's there with you through thick or thin. If it wasn't for Jane's persistence and prodding, some may call it pestering, I would never have finished writing my book.
Oh.
And that's Stella. Stella, that's right. Because I asked her, I said, what was it like? And she goes, she kept me accountable, she kept me on the straight and narrow, and I got a result. And she stop-started because she had a baby in between.
Indeed.
That's right. So that was one of the most, I thought that's getting the real story of what it's like when life interferes with some of your goals. But as you said, you're persistent to, or held them to account, and she has produced what needs to be done. So let's talk about the 3 ways that you do work with people.
Yes.
So there's the introductory workshop, and you go through a lot of things, as you said.
That's right.
Let's talk about the publicity and publishing.
Well, this is the thing. Sometimes people come to me and they might be blocked in one way or other, but often they're blocked because they don't understand how they can be published, so they don't ever start. And I just say, look, you have 3 options with being published. There's traditional publishing, a hybrid version of publishing, or you can completely self-publish. Now, I offer within my suite of programs a hybrid version of publishing, which is where essentially my people take over the project management. It's about all the fiddly, your ISBN numbers, your barcodes, the layout, very important, different layouts for a print version and an ebook, and the cover, the back, the front, the spine, and
the cover.
All of the calls to action within the book, because essentially we are writing the book for the audience, But there is an end goal for ourselves, and oftentimes my authors are making online programs.
Yep.
If that's the case, we write the book specifically with that end in mind. Sure. Might be an 8-chapter book becomes an 8-week online program. So there's the what comes at the end. So there's the publishing piece.
Yes.
There's the how do you get the word out there. Now,
the publicity.
And promotion generally.
So you don't have a stack of books sitting in the garage gathering dust.
Or your broken heart because it's sitting on Amazon and nobody's buying it. Books don't sell themselves.
No.
That's the trouble.
No, there's an issue there. Look, and there's another part of the program, the Power Writing program, which is everything.
That's the mothership.
Right.
That's
where
right.
you actually walk side by side with someone from start.
From idea to
writing, getting it out, doing
right.
the publicity, organising the publishing, everything from woe to go.
Everything. And if I can reflect back on Stella's experience, the middle of last month I had my author showcase event at the State Library of New South Wales, and Stella was one of the people speaking. She, I may say, was one of the stars of the show.
Hard for her not to be a star.
And Stella gets now 20 minutes of footage with State Library of New South Wales signage clearly visible as a promotional tool. Now, I can envisage Stella on the speaker circuit, so the value of some footage like that. But again, this is getting her message out there because she has written a book to disrupt the market, to help people who cannot afford a branding specialist. Now, has she written herself out of a job? No, she hasn't. People will still need her help, but they don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars doing what a lot of the marketing gurus will tell you need to spend.
It educates the public as well, though.
Indeed, it empowers people.
So when you do go looking for an expert, you go armed with, you know what, here's what I do want.
You know what to ask for.
Yeah, and then you can do it.
That's it.
Well, and she does that because Right with Jane.
That's it. Yeah, and I've seen Stella evolve over the process. I mean, the book has really changed over the process, and I see this so often because people get to see what they haven't been able to see themselves, and it's through asking and getting them to explain in really plain language where they say, oh, this is really important and I didn't realise I needed to say it. And it's just a great journey.
Well, it's a chance of a lifetime if they get to make their dreams real.
Absolutely.
And on that note, out there, have you subscribed? Please press the button. You know you want to. Thank you very much to Piedmont Studio for making us look and sound good. To the SMEA Association, without you, this wouldn't be possible. One more thing. Comments, tips, tricks, questions, send them to me. news@smea.org.au, and of course we're across all the socials. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Angela.